Maka akudlalwa ngawo. You know what Jesus Christ said? He said, the words are alive. Words are alive. They have life. The reason why people must frame their world is because words are alive. Words have life. Psalm 139 verse 5. That was our theme scripture. Yes. What is scripture? Can you put that scripture there so that people can learn from the scripture? Is there? Can everyone read? Yes. 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 Wow. What is scripture? God was showing us that He loved us. He has prepared a way for us. Are you hearing me? Now, this is a scripture that you must never forget. Yeah. And then He taught us about sanctifying our imagination. That was 2019. These are the theme. These were the groundbreaking messages that God taught us. See, talking about our future. Now, as I was praying, God took me back 2010. So, you remember 2010? You know, 2010, many of you were not here. 2010 was a very 2009, 2010, very difficult year. But this is what God taught me. I learned to pray. Not that I didn't pray. So I never fasted like that in my life back then. When I was during 2010, I started praying 7 days fast. I felt nothing is happening. I do another 7 days fast. See, this was a dry fast. Nothing was happening. I took a 21-day fast. And nothing is happening. And I took another 21 days. See, this is a short period of time. It's like I took a 7 days now. Then I stay another 4 or 5 days. I took another 7 days. Then I took another 21 days. Then I took another 21 days. Then immediately the Spirit of the Lord led me to a 40 days fast. So I took it. When people were celebrating the World Cup, God said to me, go to the wilderness. And I went. And I remember I was attending another meeting. I think Togozano was there in the meeting. The people were looking at me. I was busy saying something. They were not listening to me. They were looking at this cup. This guy is sick. And I wasn't sick, But I had tremendous revelations then. At first, during February on those fasts, God gave me a message which I was preaching at Church on the Hill. And I remember this message very well. I was sitting. So they said, go preach about 2010. So I'm sitting. I'm sitting in the Bible, and I'm reading the book of, I said, make it a chair because I need to demonstrate. I love to demonstrate. And I'm sitting, reading the Bible. See, I'm reading the Bible. So I'm reading Exodus. Then a voice came into my ear. The voice did not have a sound. I don't know how to explain it. It did not have a sound. I wish I can explain what kind of a voice it was. Then it tells me the message. I wrote it down. I wrote. And then when I was preaching the message, Jeff told me about the message. I said, I remember the day you preached. That's what made me to come to Barberton, because of that message. It was straight from Jesus Christ. 2010. Do you understand? I'm casting a vision again. So 2010, God, I remember I was coming from a 7 days fast. I was wearing a white suit. I'll never forget that day. I'm telling you, I'll never forget that day. So I remember, so I was coming there. As I was coming, and I preached a message again. This is February, I'm preaching that message. Where Jeff was, said, this man, where is he coming from? That's what he said. This is what he told me. Where is this man coming from? He's in our league, okay? Then, God gave me another message called Framing Your World. I remember that service, I was a fire. And people will smell fire in the service, like literal smelling fire. And I will say, oh, I see the angels here. There's some flowers. And people will smell the flowers. It was a different service altogether. Now, it's like God was reminding me, saying, now, remember 2007? 2007, I said, what was happening in 2007? And the Lord reminded me, he said, oh, you remember when you used to go early in the morning as far as 4 a.m. going to church in Nelspruit, you wake up 3 a.m., you bath, 4 a.m. you leave, 4:30 you're in church. Started praying. Now, one of those days, what happened is that there were few people in the church. Few people in the church. As I was praying, I could not see. And people stopped praying. As they stopped praying, they were looking at me. I began to change. I began to shine. I changed literally in front of their eyes. Then I began to shine. You see, you can't see yourself. Then somehow I felt nothing chulugiles. Then I went to the bathroom. Then I was wiping my face. I look at the mirror. Something is happening. I wipe again. Something is happening. I saw it. I said, listen. Now, said this to say this. 2010, 2007, you started this thing. 2010, I took it to another level. They had wonderful dreams. You see, the dreams I was dreaming, they were different. One of the dreams that I dreamt was that I dreamt Jesus Christ because I was sick in my heart. As I was sick in my heart, not like sick, like I was sick in my heart. So in that dream, that was my healing. Jesus Christ came, he gave me bread and he gave me juice. I did not know that he was giving a message of communion. He came, I saw him. It was not Jesus Christ that you see in the pictures. It was like a young man, very handsome man. But I knew that this was Jesus Christ. Very young, handsome man in his 30s. Then he gave me bread, he gave me juice. Then from that time I got healed. So then I said, that was the beginning of a message of communion, 2013. I didn't know that he was giving that message. So when God showed me these things, now taking me back, says, now 2010 was the beginning of this year. Now, 10 years have passed by. And there were things that we promised each other between me and God and the church. Some of them I was declaring in the church. Some of them I was saying in the church. It says 2020, this is the beginning of the things that I was saying. 10 years have passed by. So certain things were lost in the process. So number 10 is a number of restoration. It's a number of testing. And it's a number of harvest. Oh. Yeah. Okay, you'll catch it as we go on. As God was giving me framing your world, says, this is it. Now, Framing your world was epic. Now, he added something now. That message. I read this scripture many times, but it never dawned on me. Let's go to the book of John. 6:63. This is Jesus. Asalon, I always teach you some things. I'm teaching you something that you must never forget. Now, you will learn some things. Can you read all of us? Yes. The flesh does what? Profits nothing. Okay. I've read this verse, and probably many of you have read this verse. Yes, it's a powerful verse, you know it. But it never made sense to me as it makes sense now. Uthi Jesu lalelani la. Lamagama lengiwakhulumako kimi angimoya ene akuphila. You know what Jesus Christ said? He said, the words are alive. Words are alive. They have life. That's why in Matthew 12:36, listen to what he says. Can you put Matthew 12:36 there? God brought that message of framing a world. He says, listen, the reason why people must frame their world is because words are alive. Words have life. Every word, this is. But I say to you that every idle word man may speak, they will give account of it in the day of judgment, because words never die. I don't know whether I'm making sense to this church. I want you to hear me well, church. I'm ushering a course for 2020. Ne? You will hear me. You will hear me. It says every idle word. Every idle word. Now, look at verse 37. Look at verse 37. Look at verse 37. It says, for by what? By your words, you'll be justified. That means to be justified, you are declared right. Declared right. And by your words, you are condemned. That's why Makama, Naipa is Zulu. You don't have a Zulu Bible? No, I wanted to put it here. But everyone sees what I'm saying. Maka, akudlalwa ngawo. Uthi magama idle means into lodlala ngayo, into lekudlala. Uthi magama lodlala ngawo. Go to 36. Ngizama ukuhumusha. Magama lodlala ngawo, lo wakhulumako ngokudlala. Yo begi account yo uNkulunkulu yokujaja ngalamagama. Do you get that? For why? Because magama ayaphila. Do you understand that? That's why the Apostle Paul in Galatians 6, he says, every man lo hlanyela enyameni yovuna inyama. And every man lo hlanyela emoyeni. Remember uJesu, magama lo akhulumako angimoya ayaphila. And uthi Apostle Paul wabaseGalatia, magama, I mean lo hlanyela emoyeni yovuna uphila. Maybe let's put it Galatians 6. so that everyone can know. Ungamanu ufake magama. 6 verse 7. I want to usher you to 2020 with our understanding that 2020 is a different year. When understand about something, magama appeal. You see, I started to tell you something, to say this, that God gave us a scripture for 2019, which was Psalms 139 verse 5. Do you get that? And sanctifying your imagination. Then he's coming back again telling us, listen, the reason you must sanctify your imagination is because whatever you will be speaking, come on, church. Oh, do not be deceived. Are you reading it? Do not be deceived. God is not what? Mocked. For whatever a man sow, that he will also reap. Okay? Now, verse 8 is telling us, for he who sows in the flesh will of the flesh. Now, you think, people think, oh, uhlanyela imbewu like inhlanyelo plants. But you cannot be talking about plants here when he's talking about the flesh. Am I correct? He's talking about weights. And a lot of people think money. But he's talking weights. He's talking weights. But who sows to the Spirit will of the Spirit reap what? Life. That means there's a principle of Scripture. When God taught about sanctifying our imagination, He was trying to help us to shape our belief. You know what I'm saying? Look at 2 Corinthians 4. 4:13. Listen to this. He says, since we have what? What do we have? What do we have, church? Because he's talking about faith as a spirit. Then, what happened? According to what is written, I believe, and therefore I speak. We also believe, therefore we speak. So, in other words, anybody who speaks something, he speaks it from his belief system. Whatever you speak, it comes from your belief system. It's your belief that speaks. Oh. I'm in a right church. Amen. Eh? Amen. Whatever you speak is what you believe. That's why when Nkulunkulu asks about sanctifying imagination yethu, sihlunge. Because Jesus said in Matthew 6:28, he says, hey, if you look into a woman with lust in your heart, you have already committed adultery. He says, you have already. It doesn't say you are going to. Now, he's telling us that we must change our mindset. Because that affects what we speak about. Oh, I wish this church can catch me, please. So we speak and then we believe. That's why, you know, Solomon will say, Kufa nekpila ula. You know that verse? You know that verse? Those who don't know it is Proverbs 18. Put it there. Verse 21. Kufa That's why, you see, don't be careless with words. 2020, you're not careless with words. You know, when I was preparing this message, God said to me, remember, there was something that you prayed about, I think it was just before Prophet Gray came. You prayed about this thing. You even put something on your wall there. You spoke. Then suddenly you left it. You didn't even, it's not like I did not believe about, I believed it. But I just stopped. Not because it was not happening. I knew it was going to happen. But a year later, after I prayed about this thing started falling into its place. Says, why did this thing fall into its place? You forgot, but the works did not forget. How many times have you spoken things that have happened? Then you say, sure. And most of those things are negative. Because words carry power, they carry life. That's why Solomon's death and life are in the power of a tongue. And he says, those who love it will eat its fruit. That means if you love life, you will eat the fruit of life. If you love death, you will eat the fruit of death. Mas Sabbath ingoti nje. Ingoti takubamba. Listen, church, 2020, we ought to change the way we speak. Let me say this. As I'm about to close this, because I can see that, it's something that I need to take time and teach you. Listen, when God gave us framing your world, it means we ought now to do correction on things that we have been talking about. Hebrews 11 verse 3. Oh, church, 2020, you're going to be a powerful prophet. You see, the prophetic that God has given you, it's out of this world. So I'll tell you when I'm with you what I saw. See, it's something amazing. Let me finish this, because once I start this, I won't finish this. By faith, listen, I've explained this scripture very, very much. Wake people up, because I want these people to know what I'm saying. If you don't understand the word, then you will never understand God. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Because for you to understand God, you must understand the word. For you to understand the word, wake these young boys, wake them up. This is for their future. Wake them up. By faith we understand. What do we understand? That the ions were katatizo, rema. So the things that we see were not made from the things that are visible. Did you see that? I want to explain this thing. I want to say this thing to you so you understand. And Pumani Viselelode says, by faith we perceive, we understand by powerful perception. In other words, our perceptions are higher. The dimension of perception is higher. We understand that the aeons, the words here can deceive you to think that it's talking about the world, but it's talking about the system. Do you understand that? Now, a lot of you are a victim of a system. Now, what I'm trying to teach you is for the system to become your victim.